Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss something that I really hated to discuss, but we are going to say goodbye to the Jeep. The Jeep will be leaving tomorrow morning if everything goes good. I posted a Jeep for sale a couple weeks ago and I got some bites on it. I really hate to see it go. It's kind of a bittersweet thing. I hate to see it go because I've put so much money and time in it, but at the same token, I'm kind of excited to try to get something new for the channel. So I just want to go over some of the things that I've done to the Jeep, and I may even throw just some ballpark figures of cost so you can kind of have an idea of what it costs to get a Jeep to this point. To me, it was a lot of money. You know, I've got probably $8,000 to $10,000 in this Jeep outside of what I paid for it. So it can kind of give you a rough idea of when you buy a Jeep, especially if you buy one completely stock, about what you're going to have in it just to get it to this point right here. So let's get to it. So here's the Jeep. Just as a recap, I'm going to try to do these in order that I did them when I purchased a Jeep. When I first purchased a Jeep, the transmission, when you put it in reverse, the Jeep would die. So I found out it was a torque converter. There's fluid that runs through the torque converter and goes behind a piston and pushes the piston to release the clutches. And it got dirty in there and that piston was sticking and it wasn't releasing the clutches. So it would just stall out and die because it was getting in a bind. So I had the torque converter rebuilt with a return spring kit. So now there's 10 springs that pull the clutch to release it versus fluid coming in and pushing a piston. So the Jeep has run flawlessly since I did that. The torque converter cost me $200 and something, almost $300 to have rebuilt. And then I went ahead and changed the rear differential fluid, the transfer case fluid. I flushed the transmission and the cooler and put a new filter in that, and I changed the oil. I did it all in one whack. So all together with all the fluids and everything I did, all that cost roughly $1,000 to $1,100, and I did the work myself. If you was to take it to a shop to have all that done, you'd probably be looking $2,000 or $3,000 parts and labor. The second thing I did was I bought these brake hoses. They're stainless extended brake hoses. I noticed when they put the 2.5-inch rough country lift, which was on it when I bought it, and that kit is probably, I'd say, $300 or $400, and they had the standard brake lines, and you can see how this is kinked a little. So they stretched that brake line out. So I put it back up to where it is at, put this bracket on it, and put extended brake hoses on it, stainless lines. And I also put brand new calipers on the front. I don't know that you can see those. Yeah, you can see them. So I did the whole brake job, and I bought these TerraFlex brackets right here that go down, and I bolted it to the bottom of the shock, and it holds the brake hose to keep from it flopping around in there. And those brake hoses, they can range from, you know, anywhere between $80 to $200, and I did all four. I did the rear ones as well, and then the calipers, I just bought I think like Napa or Advanced calipers, and wanting to say they was like $60 or something like that. So that was roughly, let's just say $150, $200 to do that. And I also did that myself. If you was to pay to have that done, that would probably be, you know, a couple $100. I bought the wheels and tires. These are Nitto Trail Grapplers. They are 315 70s R17s, roughly a 34, you can say 35 if you wanted to, but tire. Those tires was roughly $1,800 for 5, because I also bought the one for the spare. These are Icon wheels with a 4.5-inch offset. You don't have to run a spacer with these. And you can see that the tires stick out almost perfect where they need to be, where it gives it a little bit of aggressive look, but they're not so far out that they sling stuff on. Now, these tires will sling stuff. I don't know if you can see, but there's a few little rock chips and stuff on this fender where it slings it from that front tire, which it's not covered down there at the very bottom, so it will sling stuff up. but you don't have to run a spacer with these. And those Icon wheels were roughly $1,200 or $1,300. So altogether between the tires and wheels was roughly close to $3,500. And then right after that, to be able to accommodate a 35-inch tire, I ordered the TerraFlex hinge kit to hold the weight of the tire, because the factory hinges, they will sag. And I ordered the tire carrier from TerraFlex, both the hinge kit and the tire carrier. That was roughly $900. And then I modified the factory brake light. I did all that work myself. If you had it installed, it'd probably be a couple $100. So you'd probably have a little over $1,000 in it if you had it installed. It's not that hard to install though. Just be careful what you do, and make sure this has like a pinch clamp that holds the center hub in when you slide it in. Make sure you tighten that real good. When I first put it on, I just snugged it because I was afraid I'd bend it real bad. And over time, the tire did come a little bit loose, and I kept hearing like a bouncing noise. So I went in there and snugged that back up, and it does great. And you also want to adjust this to where you slide it in and the tire's against the hinge. You don't want a gap right here, because then you will have like bouncing and stuff, and it's really good to have that against the hinge. It makes it a real nice tight fit. Then I bought a Super Chips programmer so I could allow to adjust the speedometer for the tires. And I also put a 93 tune in this thing. That kit is $600. Okay, so this is the driver's side right behind the washer fluid container. The PCM is locked on these, so you have to order a unlocked PCM, which will come with the Super Chips tuner for this. And this way you can tune the vehicle. You cannot tune it with the factory PCM, which this is a factory PCM. You have to send your factory in for a core charge, and they just modify it to be able to unlock it. So I put that in. So all that was like $600 and something, but it gave it a really good throttle response, and I was able to calibrate the tires and all that for the speedometer. And then I ordered a bullet antenna. They had a big long stainless one that was up here and it was flopping around. So, and I like this military looking theme, so I put a bullet antenna on it. This was $40. And then I ordered these stickers online, USJK 1941. I took the old ones off and put that on. Those were roughly $60 or $70. And then some small things I did was this storage container. When you have a Jeep, you don't have a whole lot of storage. You have a couple of cup holders, but I usually put my phone right here, but it was hard. If you put your phone up here, it would get really hot from the sun. So I ended up buying this. I think this thing was like 15 or 20 bucks, and I like it a lot. I wish I would have done it when I first bought the Jeep. You can put your phone here, your wallet, and some other stuff. And then I also bought this little storage container here, and it was like 10 bucks. It holds a few little odds and ends. And here's that tuner. So it's a Super Chips tuner, and I just keep it with the Jeep. So the owner, if he puts bigger tires or whatever he has, he can go ahead and tune this thing. And I put the hard top back on it, and excuse the mess, but I've got everything laid out here on the front porch. I got a Sunrider top. I have these tubular doors I bought with the mirrors. So those can be about $1,000 if you buy them new. They are body armor doors, and I bought them used for about $500. The sunshade top came with it, and then I also bought a full soft top. I bought it used, the rail system, and then I bought all new windows and everything from Best Top. So he gets all that. And here's the factory hinges. You can see that they're not very big at all. I'm giving them those and all the doors and everything with the Jeep. So the things that was done before I got the Jeep that is, I think, a must is it's got LED lights in the back. It's got LED lights in the interior, and that really helps brighten it up. And this is probably what I would say the must. The factory headlights are super dim, unless if you buy them with LEDs. So these are LEDs, and those are LEDs with a black cap on them. That's pretty much a summary of the truck or the Jeep. I've got roughly 8 to 10 grand in this thing. Oh, and I also had this thing paint corrected. They buffed it all out and ceramic coated it with a 5-year ceramic coat and a 2-year ceramic topper on it. And when this thing gets wet, water just gets these big fat beads and just rolls right off of it. When you wash the Jeep with the ceramic coat, you don't have to dry it off with anything. I got a leaf blower right there that I keep handy. And when I wash it and get done with it and rinse it off, I just get my leaf blower and I put it on it, and them beads they just roll right off of it. It is protected. The paint's protected. That was about $900. I think it's even more now because I scheduled to have that done months ago, so I got locked in at a lower rate. But with inflation and stuff going on, some of these prices may differ and be more expensive. Just like now, he told me the price to have this ceramic coat was going to be like $1,200, but where I locked it in months ago, I got it for like $900. And had the engine detailed, so it's got a really nice clean engine bay. And I also put a new air filter in here. I did pretty much all the maintenance on this thing to keep it up to date. Some of the things I like about the 75th anniversary that's not on your typical JKs, unless if you get a higher trim level like a Rubicon or something like that, is these metal bumpers. And even on the Rubicons, they don't all come with metal bumpers. You have to order them that way. And you can take these bolts out right here and take this plate out. You can put a winch in here, and once you take this metal plate out, the winch tucks down into your bumper, and you just have like a little bit sticking up over here at the top. And then you take this tag off, and then you can put that bracket on, and your winch cable comes out the front here. So that was really cool. And I like that you can take these bolts out, take these ears off, and put the bolts back, and you can run like a little stubby bumper if you like that meaty looking tire on the front and not have to be blocked by this right here, or if you're worried about clearance issues when you're flexing, if you're running off-road with bigger tires. Something else I like on this particular one, even though this is not a Rubicon, it's the 75th anniversary, it still came with the Rubicon hood, which when you're driving this thing, it looks so cool when you can look out and you see those vents. I can show you what it looked like when you're driving it. You can see, you know, that hood scoop and vents and stuff, and it just looks kind of neat versus just seeing a big solid piece of sheet metal going across. It kind of breaks it up a little bit. Had the interior detail cleaned at that time. It's a little dirty right now because I drove it since, but it has these handles on it. That was on it when I bought it. It also, the 75th anniversary comes with these rock guards. They're factory to like the Rubicons and stuff. And it comes with the rear metal bumper. And this thing also has a towing package on it. So overall, this is a super nice Jeep. On the interior, it's got heated seats, and it's got like a two-tone seat. It's got like a leather, and this is like a suede or something type material, and it's got the 1941 embedded in the seats. You can see here heated seats. You got traction control, hill descent, 110 power, and there's a heated seat on that side. You got power mirrors, power windows, and you got the bronze bezels around the vents, and then you got the bronze over here and on the door panels, navigation. This is a super nice Jeep. For a 2016, this thing is pretty loaded for the most part, you know. And like I said, I hate to see this thing go. Well, guys, that's the Jeep. Like I said, I hate to see it go, but I'm excited to see what we bring to the channel next. I'm in the market. I'm going to be looking around, and I will bring that to you soon, make a video on the new vehicle. Hopefully the guy that shows up tomorrow is happy with this Jeep. I think he will be, especially with everything that comes with it. Like I said, Jeeps are not cheap. They're expensive to purchase, and they're expensive to modify and customize and make your own. I would suggest, if you buy a Jeep and you customize it yourself, I would suggest trying to find some really nice, good shape used parts and kind of get them at a discounted price versus going out and paying new for everything. Like, if I would have kept shopping, I probably could have bought wheels and tires for this thing probably for $1,500, $1,800, and probably found a pretty nice set. But I really was looking for these and I couldn't find them anywhere. So that's what I'm saying. It's just expensive, but I'm going to start putting money in the F100 that I'm building right now. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up with that build, because we are at the beginning of that build. I've only made 2 videos and not really made a lot of progress yet. So if you're interested in seeing a vehicle get built from the ground up, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see that build. So it's a bittersweet day getting rid of the Jeep, but I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.